Amateur Radio News and Notes for Friday, December 19th, 2025. I'm Ed Kabik, November 2, Echo Charlie. In the log this week, we have a special event spotlight for the 12 Days of Christmas special event. Also, a contest spotlight of the ARRL Rookie Roundup on CW. We'll talk about a free extra class course that is online starting January 15th, 2026, so you can upgrade. We'll also talk about some MVARC Nets on the air, see what's happening with DX, get a solar activity update, talk about some upcoming contests, and as always, talk about interesting online radio content. As always, links to all reference content can be found in the show notes or at our Substack at mvarc.substack.com. The 7th annual 12 Days of Christmas special event is currently underway from December 14th through the 25th. There will be 12 one-by-one call signs to represent the lines from the classic 12 Days of Christmas song, including 12 drummers drumming, W2D, 11 pipers piping, K2P, 10 lords a-leaping, K2L, 9 ladies dancing, W2L, 8 maids a-milking, W2M, 7 swans a-swimming, W2S, 6 geese a-laying, W2G, 5 golden rings, W2R, 4 calling birds, W2C, 3 French hens, W2F, 2 turtle doves, W2T, and a partridge in a pear tree, W2P. There will also be a bonus station, WP3S, in Puerto Rico. If you work any of the stations, you will be eligible for a certificate. And if you get them all, you will get a full sweep endorsement. Ops will be on all bands on both CW and phone. More information can be found on the QRZ pages for each of those special event calls, and also on a link in the show notes. Happy holidays and good luck. This weekend brings the latest edition of the ARRL Rookie Roundup. This contest is a 6-hour event that focuses on newly licensed amateur radio operators who have been licensed in the last 3 years. The event runs Sunday from 1800 UTC, that's 1 p.m. Eastern Time, until 2359 UTC or 6:59 p.m. Eastern Time, and this edition is entirely on CW. The purpose is to get newly licensed ops, which the ARRL calls rookies in North America, on the air. Experienced ops are very much encouraged to participate. The bands of operation are 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters, and the power is limited to 100 watts. The exchange is the call sign of the station worked, your call sign, your first name, the 2-digit number of the year you were first licensed, called a check, and your state or province, or DX for all others. For example, if I were working K1ABC, my exchange would be K1ABC, DE, N2EC, ED, 90VA. For scoring, each rookie to rookie QSO gets 2 points, and rookie to non-rookie QSOs get 1 point. Contacts not with the rookie station are not valid for the purposes of the contest. Multipliers are each U.S. state and D.C., Canadian provinces, Mexican call sign areas, and 1 DX multiplier for all other areas. Logs need to be submitted within 72 hours of the end of the event. The top 5 rookies in each U.S. call area, Canadian province, Mexican call areas, and DX will get electronic certificates emailed, and all rookies who submit a score get a participation certificate. This is a great way to dip your toe into CW contesting if you are a new op, or a good way to give back to the next generation of ops if you're a bit more experienced. More information and the full rules can be found at arrl.org/rookie-roundup. Get on the air this weekend and have some fun. Good luck. Roll Anders, K3RA, and the National Electronics Museum will be starting an 11-week online course to help operators study for the Amateur Extra Class license. Classes will be held on Zoom on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time from January 15th, 2026 until March 26, 2026. Attendees should hold or be studying for the General Class license. If you've been considering upgrading your license and learning a lot more about the hobby, these free classes are a fantastic opportunity. To sign up, contact Roll at roland.anders@comcast.net. And now let's talk about some MVARC Nets on the air. We got our 2-meter FM net every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the repeater, which is immediately followed by our 2-meter digital net on Yaesu System Fusion C4 FM. On the weekends, we have the MVARC Slow Speed CW Roundtable on Saturday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. on 3.565 megahertz CW, and that is followed on Saturday and Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern by the Cherry Tree net on 3.920 megahertz lower sideband, where we always have a great conversation and you are always welcome to join us. And now let's take a look at what is happening with DX. There will be a lot of DX on the air this week. Stations on the air include South Sudan, Madagascar, Mali, Colombia, Gabon, Greenland, Gambia, Solomon Islands, Marcus Island, Minami-Torishima Islands, and Antarctica. A calendar of DX expeditions can be found at dxnews.com/calendar. And now it's time for a solar activity update. As we go to press, the Solar Flux Index, or SFI, was 116, and the estimated sunspot number was 68, with 5 numbered sunspot regions visible on Earth. Over the last week, the SFI has decreased. Solar activity has been at low levels in the last 24 hours, and the geomagnetic field has been at quiet to minor storm levels, and the KP index reached 4 yesterday. The solar wind peaked at 723 kilometers a second. Solar activity is predicted to be at low levels with a slight chance for M-class flares today through Sunday. The geomagnetic field is forecast to be at quiet to unsettled levels today through Saturday and at quiet levels on Sunday. The chance of solar radiation storms at the S1 or greater level is at 1% today through Sunday. R1 to R2 radio blackouts are unlikely in the near term, with a predicted probability of 15% through Sunday. And R3 or greater blackouts are unlikely, with a 1% chance predicted today through Sunday. There's a chance of 6-meter propagation, so keep an eye on the band and spotting clusters to be ready for the next time the Magic Band does its thing. It remains a fantastic time for amateurs to get on the air and work the world. Good sources of real-time solar information include spaceweatherlive.com and solarham.com. A good overview of conditions can be found at dx.qsl.net/propagation. To see D-layer absorption data and associated radio blackouts, visit the NOAA DRAP page. And to see real-time maximum usable frequency, or MUF, and critical frequency FOF2 information from radio sun data, visit prop.kc2g.com. And now let's take a look at some upcoming contests. This weekend brings the AGB Party Contest, the Feldhell Sprint, the OKDX Riddy Contest, the RAC Winter Contest, the Croatian DX Contest, and the ARRL Rookie Roundup on CW. Also, the Run for the Bacon QRP Contest. As always, the K1USN SSTs, the MSTs, and the CWTs will also be on the air. The full contest calendar with events and exchanges can be found at contestcalendar.com. And finally, let's wrap things up with some interesting online radio content. Mark, KD7DTS, Ara, N6ARA, and Josh, KI6NAZ, Talk Soda, YouTube, and antennas for sofas on the air. Jerry, Cam4ZKB, builds a 1-to-1 choke balun for his ZS6BKW antenna. Walt, K4OGO, gives his top 5 portable commercial HF antennas. Peter, VK3YE, shows how to support a mast with your own body weight. Matt, M0DQW, tests out the Xiegu GPA 100-watt amplifier. Mike, K8MRD, does an A-B comparison between the ICOM 7300 and the ICOM 7300 Mark II. George, VK2AOE, talks about some issues he's had with his QMX radio. Farhan, VU2ESE, demonstrates the newly available Lark Set 40-meter radio kit. Peter, VK3YE, shows the free DV mode on HF and how it provides some power-efficient voice communication. Steve, KM9G, tests the ATU-10 QRP ATU. Mike, KWRD, gives a first look at the ICOM 7300 Mark II. Matt, M0DQW, looks at the HamGeek 6699 radio. Rob, N1NUG, builds a hidden transmitter for fox hunting. Evan, K2EJT, shows his most used radios for 2025. Alan, W2AW, uses a tiny SA to measure keyer speed on a Kenwood TS890S. The Long Island CW Club has a new promo video with a voice you may recognize. Kevin, W1DED, reads "'Twas the Night Before 10 Opened" by Mike, VE9AA. Walt, K4OGO, builds a rhombic antenna. And finally, Mike, K8MRD, builds an antenna with paracord-like RSE line. Well, that is it for this week. I've been Ed, November 2, Echo Charlie. Thanks, as always, for joining us. And, hey, it's that holiday season. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are the best gift that a guy could ever ask for. We do appreciate it. Hope you and yours have the happiest of holidays, whatever you celebrate. Best 73, and we look forward to seeing you next week.